Tim Timmons is no stranger to pain, and yet he has a really unique way of approaching everyday life that I wanted to share with you today. Welcome, Tim Timmons.
Thank you, Sami.
My friend, Grammy-nominated songwriter. There's so many titles, and yet that doesn't really matter so much. Dancer extraordinary, chef.
Chef.
Enjoyer of food.
I wish, yes. Yes, I'm a food nerd.
You are a food nerd. But today, okay, let's just start out. For people that don't know your story, you're not supposed to be here today. And some people say that, like, I'm not supposed to be alive. Like, you literally aren't supposed to be alive. So can you tell people what you are dealing with?
Totally. One, being so good looking.
Well,
that's hard.
That's obvious,
that's just
though,
a difficult
right?
thing.
That's just something you have to put up with every day.
And people ask me to share my story, and I often say, I know what you mean by my story, but so I was given 5 years to live 23 years ago.
That's incredible.
So incurable cancer, there's still tumors on my liver that they say are wearing out my heart.
Yeah.
But I just keep getting to wake up every day.
Yeah.
And it's become this thing, it's not my story. Like, what a stupid story. What a terrible story. But it's just the journey that I get to be on, and I get to have hopefully better awareness of, like, what actually matters today.
So that's what I want to talk to you about, and that's why you're here, because you and your wife and your whole family are such good people. And it's like, you're right, that's not what you focus on, and that's probably what makes being around you so beautiful, is that you really question what it means to not only be in the presence of people, but be in the presence of Jesus every day. Can you share some of those nuggets and how, because I think we have a lot of our audience that struggles with the joy and the pain simultaneously. What does that look like?
Yeah, totally. I mean, there are a few things. I write this X on my wrist every morning for the past 13 years.
And I asked you, why don't you just tattoo it?
Yeah.
And you say...
It's the practice of doing it. So the X used to symbolize the Christ years ago.
Yeah.
And it was just this reminder of, like, one of the reminders is I woke up again today. So every morning I've got, like, Sharpies everywhere in my house, in my car. And I put a little X on my wrist just going, you got up again today.
Yeah.
Like, just stop. Like, if you're watching right now, you woke up again today.
Yeah.
Like, just stopping and saying, that is awesome. I'm just grateful for that. Is almost been a game changer for me.
Do you, again, I don't want to over-spiritualize or under-spiritualize, but would you say that's really impacted your health in a positive way? Because I feel like you do a great job of reframing things. So even when something could be negative, you have such a unique way of approaching just your daily life, even like a breath prayer. Like, do you think that that's really contributed to?
I think all that stuff contributes, yet I also know people that were the most beautiful people I know that are not here anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
And so I don't know why I'm here or why I woke up, or whether it's, my attitude, but I woke up again.
I'm glad you did.
Totally. And I get to hang with you today and be with my kids and my family.
Yeah.
But I've been really struggling with this idea of gratitude and grief. And sometimes it's just like I'm so good at gratitude, and I'm like, just be thankful. Don't get sad. And yet I have this deep grief in me over many different things.
Right.
And so I'm trying to figure out what is the beauty in grieving grieving things really well, and also walking with gratitude at the same time. Sometimes I've been so great at grieving, and I can live in grief, and then I'm like, I get so deep into that place that there's no way to then practice gratitude. So I've just really, Jesus says, whoever hears my words and puts them into practice all week long, it's like building your house on a rock. It's wise.
Well, and I love that you said practice, because you have a podcast, you have a movement called 10,000 Minutes. Yeah. And it's basically, if I were to sum it up, it's not just like, we don't just need an hour with God. Like, we shouldn't just want an hour. Like, what does it look like to practice the presence of Jesus throughout the week? And that's your 10,000 minutes,
I've been like a varsity American Christian my whole life. like try to beat me. I'm so awesome.
Was that your letter jacket?
I have a Letterman jacket that has like a cross, like, you're awesome. And I was so good at it, but I found myself just exhausted and soul tired. And I'm like, I don't know if this thing works. Jesus is pretty amazing. I'm just so intrigued by him and his ways. But just doing the Christian thing wasn't really working. So I was like, okay, somebody told me that there are 10,080 minutes in a week. Yeah. So you're welcome. You feel smarter just because you've been.
Fun fact.
But 10,080 minutes in a week. In 80 of those minutes, I found we were just gathering as the church in some building or a home or whatever, which is awesome. But there are 10,000 minutes until we gather again. And somebody cuts me off on the road, and I have other things to show them or tell them, or
interesting.
just that I'm thinking about them.
Did you want to share that now?
No,
not now. Not on TV.
They're number one. And But Jesus has these other ways. He's like, what if we actually blessed our enemies?
Yeah.
And that person becomes my enemy. My wife can be my enemy. My kids, my neighbors. Yet Jesus has these beautiful ways of going, hey, what would it look like for us to bless our enemies? People that think different. So that's part of my X as well, is practicing the ways of Jesus during my day.
Goodness, there's so much more we could talk about. I would love to talk more about rethinking blessing. We've got to wrap it up, but people can find you at timtimmonsmusic.com.
Yeah.
Tim Timmons Music on Instagram, 10,000 Minutes.
Yep, 10,000minutes.com.
All the places.
All the
and you're a
places.
worship pastor.
I'm something. I don't know if I love that title,
Well,
but I get to hang with people.
You get to hang and sing and
be the church with people instead of do it with people, which is way more fun.
oh my goodness. Thank you for being here.
Totally.
I love being
you,
in your
Sami.
presence. Love you too. Make sure you check out all the things Tim is doing and just, go practice it today and be the feet of Jesus. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Tim.